it is now my singular honor to introduce to you the Chancellor-designate, Dr. Crispus Walter Kiyonga. And as he steps up, I'll just quickly give a brief citation. Dr. Crispus Walter Kiyonga is a distinguished public service, physician, political leader, and career diplomat. He is a proud alumnus of Makerere University. Dr. Kiyonga graduated with a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. He furthered his education by obtaining a Master in Health Science from the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health. Throughout his illustrious career in public service, Dr. Kiyonga has held numerous critical roles as a cabinet minister in various portfolios. His notable positions include Minister of Cooperatives and Marketing, Minister of Finance, Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister of Health, National Political Commissar, and Minister of Defense. As a diplomat, Dr. Kiyonga served as Uganda's ambassador to China between 2017 to 2020. As Chancellor of Makerere University, Dr. Kiyonga brings a wealth of experience, leadership, and dedication. His extensive networks and wavering commitment to public service will continue to grace the university with an avid and visionary leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Dr. Crispus Kiyonga. I would now like to take the honor to invite the visitor, the President of the Republic of Uganda, to take us through the installation of the Chancellor. You're welcome, Mr. President.
I think let's stand here. It will be brief. It will be brief. You're not alone in him? They said they changed it. David first gives him. I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. Where are the things the president will hand over? Down. Bring it here. What is the president hand over? The key. Where is it? He has it in his hands. Okay. So, Your Excellency, will request you now to hand over the key to the Chancellor designate. And we request Your Excellency just to wait as the chair comes on the row.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening is that the visitor has now installed the Chancellor and is getting him seated in his official chair as the Chancellor of Makerere University, and has also handed to him the Universities and Other National Institutions Act, which is the founding law of this public university. And I will now request the Vice Chancellor and the University Council Chairperson to hand over additional instruments of service to the Chancellor. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome and congratulate our new Chancellor, Dr. Crispus Walter Kiyonga. And now, it's my distinguished honor to request the Council Chairperson, Mrs. Lorna Magara, to come and invite our Chancellor to give his acceptance speech. Mrs. Magara.
Congratulations, Dr. Kiyonga. The mace you have received from His Excellency today symbolizes your authority upon the university and what Makerere University stands for. I'd now like to invite you to give your acceptance speech and thereafter invite the Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet. You're welcome, Mr. Chancellor.
Your Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Mama Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni, Minister of Education and Sports, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Thomas Tayewa, my dear wife Alice, my children and my granddaughter Inel Muhindo, relatives and my invited friends, ministers and ministers of state, honorable members of parliament, the chairperson of the University Council, Mrs. Lorna Magara, and other members of the University Council, brothers and sisters who have been chancellors before, Professor Ezra Sruma, Professor Kagonyera, and others, the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University, Brother Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, the University Secretary, the Academic Registrar, academic and other members of staff of the university, the students of Makerere, visibly represented by their president and the vice president of the guild, comrades, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, I take this opportunity to thank you and the First Lady, Honorable Janet Museveni, for your decision to deploy me at Makerere in the position of Chancellor. Please join me and we clap for the President. I thank you very much. In the same vein, Mr. President, I convey the appreciation of my immediate family for this deployment. I will, in the coming days, Mr. President, link with the university through the Vice Chancellor to more clearly understand issues at the university and see how to relate with the managers of the university in the context of the central task we face to transform our continent, Africa, Uganda inclusive. In this regard, my preliminary thinking include: 1, deepening the linkage of the wider community of students and staff of Makerere University with the central government and the communities of Uganda. Can the research agendas of the university speak more clearly and more directly to the development agenda as spelled out by government? Can the students be more involved in different forms of extension in the Ugandan population and communities? Can the significant quantity of land that the university has be used to create agro-industrial parks for practical learning and incomes? Do all students across the courses they do, be it medicine or social sciences, follow the struggle to liberate and transform Africa. And in this regard, I'm glad that the president of the Guild and his vice have briefly spoken to this subject. Concluding, Mr. President, I thank you and Mama Janet for once again deploying me to this area. The struggle to develop and transform Africa is a revolutionary duty. It is therefore the duty of all patriots of Uganda and Africa, wherever they may be, to do what they can in support of this effort. Makerere University is a prominent and historical central learning and knowledge-generating institutions in Africa. Makerere University, therefore, has the duty to keep abreast with the developments in Africa. And those of us who get the opportunity to do some work here have the duty and obligation to keep this assignment under central focus. I thank you all for your attention. I thank you, Your Excellency. I thank you, Mama Janet Museveni, for this opportunity. The struggle continues. It's now my singular honor and pleasure to invite you, Mama Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni, to come and speak to your people. Most welcome. Let's welcome Mama with a very wide clap.
Thank you, Dr. Kiyonga. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, honorable ministers present here today, members of Parliament, the outgoing Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Ezra Suruma, and the incoming Chancellor, Mrs. Kiyonga, the University Council Chairperson, Mrs. Rona Magara, and members of the University Council, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, and members of the University Management, the staff and students of Makerere University, distinguished dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. I am happy to join you on this beautiful day when we celebrate a double event indeed. Thanking God for the successful restoration of the main building, a monumental infrastructure, and installing a new University Chancellor, Dr. Crispus Kiyonga. Congratulations, Dr. Kiyonga, on your esteemed appointment. I also extend the heartfelt congratulations to Professor Ezra Suruma for your exemplary service as Chancellor for the 2 terms. You served your role with distinction, and we are proud of you. The memory of 20th September, as you have heard from those who spoke before me, 2020, when the iconic Ivory Tower was engulfed in flames, remains vivid to many of us. Makerere's main building is more than just infrastructure. It symbolizes the history and evolution of higher education in Uganda and is a masterpiece of architecture. Today, we celebrate its restoration and the newly ignited hope for the future. The Bible says, a righteous man may fall 7 times, but he rises again. That's in Proverbs 24, verse 16. The restoration of main building symbolizes a rising again of Makerere University, I believe. Makerere will once again produce national, continental, and world leaders, men and women, trained and equipped with knowledge and skill, passionate, selfless, and willing to pay the price to see their communities transformed. Africa, they want to see Africa united, economically independent, and developing. It is my prayer that Makerere will continue to play a pivotal role in future generations. Your Excellency, the President, I am delighted to note that Makerere has restored this building to its original exterior glory while making necessary the interior adjustments to meet current needs. The restoration design undertaken by academicians from the Makerere University College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology is even more fulfilling. This exemplifies how our academic expertise can be practically applied to deliver public goods and services. We hope to see more initiatives where academicians directly support government projects extending beyond the gates of Makerere. On behalf of our nation's education sector, I thank you, Your Excellency, for your immediate directive to fund the restoration of this iconic building and other critical projects at Makerere, including the students' residences. When the University Council attempted to establish a fundraising committee for the main building, they had reservations about raising the substantial funds needed for such a complex restoration. Your timely intervention, Mr. President, underscores your unwavering support for the higher education sector and Makerere University in particular. The main building is not an isolated area of government investment at this university, as you have heard from the leaders of this university. We were supposed to commission the School of Law building this morning and the refurbished Lumumba Hall, which means they are done, they are ready and waiting for commissioning. Other government-funded projects include the ongoing renovation of Mary Stuart Hall, the construction of the School of Dentistry, the perimeter wall, as you have heard already from the Vice Chancellor before me, and improvements at the University Hospital, including setting up an operating theater and ICU. We have moved beyond the past when our partners in development funded all major infrastructure projects at this university and others. With improved economic performance, our government can and will continue to take up these responsibilities incrementally. Yes, but also, as the Minister of Education and Sports, I'd be even more proud to know that Makerere and other public universities has some good investment in an endowment fund, which gives you more freedom to fulfill your plans, and I can't wait for that day when I hear that good news. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to highlight that alongside our investments in infrastructure, the government has also prioritized other critical operational aspects of the university. A key area of focus is research funding, which was previously reliant on our partners. The reliance on donor funding also meant that we had limited control over the research agenda, often resulting in studies that did not address our local needs. Establishing the Research and Innovation Fund bridges that gap now and ensures that our research efforts yield outcomes that drive economic growth and social transformation. On this momentous day, I must also commend the government's progressive steps towards resolving staff remuneration issues, including salary harmonization and enhancement. This fiscal year, the government has fully funded salary harmonization across all public universities and remains committed to further salary enhancements as economic conditions improve. To the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nawangwe, and your team, we have great confidence in the potential of Makerere University and other public universities to tackle the pressing challenges facing our nation and the African continent. With a rapidly growing population, we must produce more food and expand economic opportunities to ensure gainful employment for all. We need local solutions to the continuously emerging challenges. Our investments in higher education are driven by the high expectation that you will deliver these solutions promptly. You are a significant partner in national development. Please remember that always. Congratulations to you all on the re-inauguration of the main building. May this achievement inspire hope, zeal, continued progress, and innovation as we build for the future. It is now my singular honor to invite Your Excellency to address this gathering. I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, and all the other ministers, the Chancellor of Makerere University, the academicians, the Chairperson of Council, and all the people in attendance here. I congratulate Makerere on restoring the administration building which had been burnt. I congratulate you. I was happy to show you where we used to have some historical debates, like the debate we had in 1969, in which I participated, and Professor Mazrui was there, and Dr. Rodney was there, even Kanyihamba. I remember Kanyihamba was also there. And we had our big arguments between the patriots, who were led by Dr. Rodney, and those who were pro other ideas, led by Professor Mazrui. I remember Professor Mazrui saying, I am not in conflict with Dr. Rodney. And then when Rodney came up, he said, we are not in conflict, we are not even in contact. Very historic debate. Because you cannot conflict with somebody who is talking about different things when you are talking about different things. So I congratulate the university as Professor Nawang said, my main concern was the records of the university, of the students. But otherwise, Chizimbe, Buzimbe, you just build a new one. That's no big problem. So we have built it now. Secondly, I want to congratulate you on having a new Chancellor in the person of Dr. Crispus Kiyonga. Dr. Crispus Kiyonga is an outstanding cadre and leader of the NRM. He's a member of the Central Committee, and he has been very active in our efforts ever since 1980, when we were involved with UPM. So I congratulate him and I congratulate the university. Now, universities, including Makerere, are centers of knowledge. The question is, what is knowledge? Knowledge is about what? Part of the problem of Africa has been the confusion on this idea. What is knowledge? The universe, there are different figures which I have seen. Some figures say the universe has been here for the last 30 billion years. Others say 15 billion. But the universe has been here for a very long time. The universe, the Earth, the planets, beyond the planets. However, the human beings have been here in our form, in our present form, have been here for 4.5 million years, according to some records. So that is when what you call Homo sapiens evolved. The wise man. The wise man. Now, much of the knowledge is around this man, this wise man. This wise man had 3 characteristics which other creatures did not have. He had a superior brain. He was bipedal. He could stand on 2 legs, when most animals walk on 4 or crawl on the ground. And he had a hand that could do work and shape tools. Now, within the NRM, we studied this evolution of man and society very seriously. And we call it political economy. Now, political economy is not political science, the sort of things I saw in the university when we were there. Political economy is the study of the laws that govern the evolution of society. Now, one of the stimulus for the evolution of society is the advance in science and technology. when science and technology advance, mostly advanced by this man, the Homo sapiens sapien. And what it means is that this man understands the laws of nature, which are there, but people didn't know. Gravity was not created by man, it was there. Gravity is a force of nature. But people didn't know that there was a force called gravity until somebody pointed it out. All the natural laws are there. Now, by understanding them and using them to solve society problems, then science and technology have moved forward. It is therefore very, very crucial for all academicians to understand this. 1.5 up to the human beings were tree dwellers. They were staying in the trees because that's where it was safe to be. But 1.5 million years ago, man invented fire. The invention of fire caused huge changes in society. Society changed from living in the trees to living in the caves, because they now had fire, which enabled them to go into the dark caves, chase the wild animals, the snakes there, and stay there. And it was safer there. It was safer and more comfortable in the cave than in the trees. And you can go step by step. The invention of agriculture. Society was hunter-gatherer. Society were hunting and gathering. That's how they were getting food. Until they learned the science of domesticating crops, picking some seeds and planting them. Or, like my tribe, who long ago learned how to domesticate wild animals and make them cows. This was a big progress in society. So it's very important for, in our teaching, for this information to be very clear. It is on our, yesterday I was talking to some lawyers, some Chief Justice in Munyonyo. If you trace, I think the first time Egypt was colonized was some years AD something, when a group called the Hittites invented iron tools before the Egyptians invented them. Because the Egyptians were still using brass and maybe some bronze or something like that. But the iron tools were stronger than the other metals. So, therefore here, in the case of the universities of Africa, including Makerere, I know you have been doing very well in the area of natural sciences, medicine, and some other sciences, the agriculture started long ago, veterinary, later on engineering was added. When we came into government, I insisted on creating the food science technology. I added it myself, I insisted. How can you say you are studying science and you don't study science about food? And you are studying cockroaches and I don't know what. So I insisted. And I also insisted on the faculty. I don't know what it is doing now. The faculty of quantitative economics. Echivaro, ability to do project analysis, Because when we had just come into government, I inquired, because I knew the importance of that discipline, project evaluation and so on. Where are people trained in project evaluation, profitability analysis? So there's only the University of, in the UK, what were they calling? There was a university there where they were going. I've forgotten the name. But why don't you start your own faculty? I hope you start. It was started, I don't know how it is doing well or how it is doing now. Because I still see people going to import people to do project analysis, feasibility study, what have you. I've forgotten that university where they were. So, on the side of natural sciences, these universities, like the ones in Africa, have been doing some work. But I want you to audit. How are you doing it? Can you not improve the teaching of science? Science, which means understanding the laws of nature and using them to solve problems. For instance, people have been getting the BSc agriculture from here for a long time. I remember I saw the first people in 1955 in Tungamo there. We had never seen anybody from Makerere. You know where Ntungamo is? Ntungamo Post Office Private Bagambarara. And we saw a man called Garkandi. Mtabanu wa Bitaro. A piki. I think he was an assistant agriculture officer. Say, he's from Makerere. And he has got a diploma. We were really impressed. But when I came into government, even before I came into government, I knew those people who had done BSc agriculture. At that time, during the time of the colonial people, it seems, I don't know, you can study it. It seemed they were teaching our people very well how to grow crops, how to put them in line, how to use improved seeds, how to do this. Good agricultural practices. But value addition, it seems, was not being talked about. When you produce, I know this because from my guerrilla side, I came to know more about value addition than even some of our people, the scientists. For instance, when I went to Namulonge, where they were telling me about cotton. They were saying cotton, you can get textiles from cotton. You can get cooking oil from cotton seeds. You can also get animal feeds from cotton seed cake. I waited. They didn't. They stopped there. I said, do you know that you can get gunpowder? That they get gunpowder from cotton? And these people seem not to know. They didn't know why the Chinese were buying so much cotton from here, taking it. They would go and make gunpowder, nitrocellulose, and sell it to us here who are asleep. And because of that, you find our military industries are not as efficient as the Chinese ones, because we are using imported gunpowder, nitrocellulose, to pack it here. Our only job is to pack it. So I was telling you, why don't you produce? We are the ones with the cotton. So these science courses, they must be, as we say, vertically integrated, teaching our people how to look for the raw materials, as the professor was saying, Professor Nawang was saying, how they can look for the minerals. But we should not only have the technology to look for the minerals, but to add value to all of them up to the last, so that we get maximum value from them. So that's one area of refining our knowledge about nature from the science side. Now, this is now natural sciences. But from the science side of social science, it is again the same challenge. Because this human being, this Homo sapiens sapien, when he was inventing things, and it would affect the way society is organized. You have seen that when fire was invented, the whole society changed from staying in trees to staying in caves. When our people, ancient people invented agriculture, the whole thing changed. In the hunter-gathering times, the hunter was very important because he's the one who was feeding the family. But now, with the crops, the one who could cultivate became very important, and who could domesticate animals. So every change in level of science affects the society. Now, are we conversant with these social ideas? Because these are now social ideas now. I came here and I spoke to Professor Chirumira. He was the one heading history department. And I wanted to engage them because I was already very active with the science side. The food technology people, I was with them, Chamhangire, Florence Muranga, and all of those were always the Kira Motors, Musasizi, Tokodri. I'm always very busy with those to deepen the ideas of natural science. How about the social science side? Because there are a lot of problems there. The paralysis in Africa is because of that side of the social sciences. The correct ideas of how to organize society. So I therefore challenge you, and I challenge Dr. Kiyonga to audit this. How is that? When we came from the bush, I brought these ideas. And I met Dr. Mujaju. We came, I talked with Dr. Mujaju, we talked. I thought he had got what I was saying. Introducing political economy as a paper in all courses. Whatever you study, have a paper to understand the laws that govern the changes in society. Which are these laws? I'm telling you that law number one is that when there is change in science and technology, there are concomitant changes in society. That's what I'm telling you now. And this is what I wanted Mujaju to follow up. But then Mujaju went and made development studies. Before I knew that you could get a degree in development studies. It was a whole degree now. But me, I was talking about a paper in political economy, not how is the development studies from where do you put economics? Where do you put what? I couldn't. Up to now, I have not had time really to go back for that battle. So when I went to our university in Mbarara, which I had started, because in Mbarara I started it myself, and I wanted it to follow my... I put a faculty of medicine. Then with Professor Kayanja, we added a faculty of computer science, no, science education, to teach science teachers. Then we added, I think, Bachelor of Nursing and Bachelor of Computer something. Then I heard they had started development studies. Please, please. Please, 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 please. I don't know what I protested. I didn't go on the streets, but I don't know whether it is still there in Mbarara or what. So, with these few words, regarding the road unit, that's a very good idea. A road unit for, I would definitely support that so that you can have your own road unit. You teach your engineers how to make roads and how to to do buildings and so on. Practically, I totally agree with that. Coming to talk to the students, I will be very happy. Oh, I like talking. If you invite me. If you invite me, you do so at your own risk. So I will happily come. But I think we are moving very well because since we introduced the research fund, you have seen what has been achieved. The banana project of Dr. Muranga, the projects of Professor Chamahanyire, the Kira Motors, the vaccines, things are really moving. The anti-tick vaccine of Dr. Kahwa and Naro, they have invented an anti-tick vaccine where you can kill where the cow can kill the ticks. So the ticks are now endangered species instead of endangering the cows. So we are moving very well. I just want us to refine that. All these graduates of agriculture, you must not only grow the crops, but know how to use them to the last gram. Because what's happening in the world is a scandal. I have given you the example of coffee. The value of coffee in the world, I have told you this before, is $460 billion. But all the coffee growing countries in the world, Brazil, all of them, Colombia, Uganda, they share only $25 billion from the $460 billion. You can't believe it. And Africa is sharing only $2.5 billion of the $460 billion. So we say we are growing coffee. You know, Uganda is a coffee growing country. Growing, how can you lose so much value? Of the 2.5 billion, Uganda is getting 900 million because of the big quantities we are producing. A country like Germany, which does not grow a single tree of coffee, from coffee, because they roast and grind the coffee in Hamburg, they get more money from coffee than all the coffee growing countries in the world, more than 2 times. And then you have got educated people in those countries. They are just there. So this is terrible. So the crisis you see in Africa, security, lack of jobs, is because of this knowledge among the intelligentsia of these countries, of the third world countries. In the government, I have been having big war about value addition. It's as if it's my problem. You remember one time in Parliament, they were opposing value addition to the coffee, almost causing a clash between me pushing for, because now when you sell unprocessed coffee beans, you get $2.5 a kilo. But that same kilo, after it is processed and so on, it can go up to as much as $40 a kilo. So what sort of, how can you have all these things like this happening? So when you hear the crisis in Africa, West Africa, wars, what? Young people dying in the ocean, going to Europe, it is because of this gap in social science. Social science must move up, must catch up with history, must go from being social science of colonialism to social science of liberation. I thank you and I congratulate everybody.
We thank you very much, Your Excellency, for those remarks. Thank you always for the wisdom that you give to Makerere University and for the leadership that you have provided over the years. Can we give another round of applause to the visitor of Makerere University?